Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
What's up out there, friends and family? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you again another one of these Motivational Mondays on a Tuesday. I know it's kind of confusing. I usually do Motivational Mondays, but I've been so busy and I was traveling yesterday, so I was unable to hop on. So I did want to make sure that I stay consistent with my grind. So I hopped on today. So for all my people out there, all my replayers out there, holla at your boy. Y'all give me about a minute as I share this out. Hey, happy Tuesday, Vaniqua. Thanks for joining us. Y'all, for all my people out there, man, y'all please go share this to your top 5. For all my replayers, if you would, please give us about a minute as we share this out. I'm going to share it out myself. And then tonight, I didn't put it on. I only put it on one Facebook platform. So we wouldn't split the audience tonight. But the last couple times, we've been splitting the audience. So I'm going to try to keep it together this go around. So if you all would, please share this to your top 5. If they don't grow with you, they can't go with you. Holla at your boy. Y'all give me about 30 seconds as I'm sharing it out myself. I hope everybody's off to a fantastic week and that everything is going well and going the way you want it to go. Because we talked about last week that it's just stimuli. If you missed last week, Vaniqua, I saw you went back and listened to it 3 times. At least 3 times. I saw you commented at least 3 times. So for anybody out there that missed that bread breaking word, man, I'm challenging you to go back and listen to it. And for anybody that get any of these messages that I send you or me sharing this or copy you in my messages, just know, man, like I care for you. You're in my top 5 and I want the best for you. And I know these Motivational Mondays is going to help get you to where you want to go. So holla at your boy. And the more consistent we are at these Motivational Mondays, the more consistent we are at reading and developing our mind, the more and more we'll see ourselves walking in the grace or walking in the totality of what we'll believe in the great I am for. All right, let me share this out. All right, share it. All right, I hope everybody's having a tremendous week. Let's commence to this bread breaker. Thank you, Vaniqua, for showing up, showing on time. We really miss your presence when you're not here, so we really appreciate it. I know Angelique reached out to me and said she had a prior commitment also, so she wouldn't be here tonight, but she's definitely going to catch the replay. And I love the consistency, and I love how, we show up for each other on these Motivational Mondays. Episode 151. I can't believe it, y'all. I can't believe it. We are 151 episodes into Awaken Your I Am. This past week, and I'm going to hop right into this one because I got something on my heart and I got to get it off. Oh, I see people starting to come in the room, man. When you come in the room, say what's up to your boy. Thank you, Devon. Thank you for popping in the room. Always very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Devon. What's up, my bro? Thank you for joining us tonight. Please invite your top 5 as we get this going. Last week, we had north of 20 eyes. So let's see if we can. Hey, Beverly, thanks for joining us. Let's see if we can run this up. Oh, here come everybody. Hey, Philip, thank you for joining us. Let's see if we can run this Motivational Monday up. Hey, Kaniki, thank you for joining me. It might be Chris. Thanks for hopping on, joining us tonight. Let's see, can we run this one up north of 25 eyes? If you would, type some names down in the box. Tag them in this. If you owe anybody money, you borrowed money from anybody that you want to see succeed, you want to see go to the next level of life, go ahead and invite them in this Motivational Monday. And I'm finna commence the bread breaking. I appreciate you all hollering out there, joining us tonight. Last week, I want to pick up on this conversation that we talked about external stimuli. We talked about how stimulus is anything that can trigger a physical or behavior change. We talked about in life that there are not many unknowns. I'm going to say it that way. We talked about success. We talked about failure. We talked about all the different things that happen in our life. And we said, what's up, Pat? Thanks for joining us. It's only stimuli. The plural of stimulus is stimuli. Stimuli can be external or internal. So anything in our life that triggers a physical or behavior change is stimuli. I want us to come to the conclusion that anything that I encounter in my life, whether it's positive or negative, is only stimuli. Not the things that I see are temporal, but the things that I see on the inside of me are what's eternal. I just broke bread right there. Any situation that I come into contact, and this is a review from last week. I'm going somewhere this week, but some of you all got to go listen to the hour last week, but I'm going to try to catch you up to the best I can. I'm trying not to rush it because I know I got somewhere I want to go today. So anything that could trigger physical behavior change is stimuli. You know, a lot of times in our past, when we had situations that left a lot of trauma, our parents left early, or I had somebody, my spouse or a parent, to pass away at an early age, or my father wasn't there, or we were broke, or I was molested, I was raped. Like, we had a lot of things happen in our past that caused us to see ourselves, or a teacher said something negative about me that caused us to view ourselves a certain way, to have to create a reputation within inside of ourselves, or who I am and what I project. And those situations were never meant to hinder you from your destiny. Those situations were never meant to have you walking in condemnation. Those situations were never meant for you to feel less than. All those situations were just stimuli. They were just stimuli, and sometimes we internalize the stimuli, and that stimuli eventually becomes trauma if we don't learn how to deal with the response of the stimuli. Then if we have a negative response to the stimuli, a lot of times that becomes trauma, and we replay that same situation over and over and over in our minds, and that trauma now has effects on how I live my life today. So some people could be living from trauma that happened when they were 9, and today they're 49, and they're still operating from the place of 9 where they experienced trauma but never got over it because of that external stimuli pushed them to see themselves, to believe how they believe about themselves. I'm going to break bread before this is all over, but I got to set this up so in order for us to see that my life is truly what I make it. My life is not what they said about me. My life is not what happened to me. I lost my job. My life, I failed the exam. I've had 4 careers. I've been through multiple divorces. My life is not the trauma, the external stimuli that I've been through. Hey, Virginia, thanks for joining us. My life, the sum total of my life is not what I've been through. I'm about to break bread in a minute. I promise you, I'm going somewhere tonight. That's not the extent of who I am based on what I've walked through. I know the teacher said you couldn't do it. I know your parents said you the least of the household. I know you're the least of the household. I know, but trust me on this, that external stimuli only affects you if it triggers a physical or behavior change on the inside of you, or how it triggers a physical or behavior change on the inside of you. Motivational teacher, break bread. What do you mean when you say physical? I remember my wife is a educator. She works in the school, and she saw this tall kid that was walking down the hall, and he was slumped over, taller than a lot of the teachers. He was slumped over. His shoulders were all bent over, and he looked like, I just wish I was small. You know, he walked kind of like this, and he always tried to wear bigger clothes so you couldn't see. He was muscular, he was built, just trying to cover up everything that God gave him, because people had always told him that he was big, he was clumsy, he was the Hulk, and the kids picked on him so much because of his size. And so he himself made a physical change in his mind that I'm going to carry myself slumped over. I'm going to carry myself with my head down so I don't walk and don't look as tall as I am walking through the hallways. So even as a middle schooler, he made a behavior change in order to appear smaller than what he is. So he took the most fruitful part of him, like Adam and Eve in the garden, when they covered themselves with the fig leaves. He said, "Who told you you were naked?" What's up, Ryan? So he took the best part of him and he began to hide it. He didn't want to try out for basketball. He didn't want to try out for football. He just wanted to go through the hallway. He just wanted to go through unseen. And my wife said, "Man, this would be a great kid for you to mentor." And so she ended up meeting the parents, and we ended up mentoring them, and I ended up having these conversations with them because I'm a big dude myself. I'm 6'7", 260 pounds. I'm a big dude myself. So she said, you need to have some conversations with him. And so I ended up having some conversations with the young man and helping him understand, man, that your height, your structure, your size is a gift. It's people praying to have what you have. It's people right now that's taking growth hormone, trying to increase in size, and you're walking around with the size, and you're hiding the best parts of yourself. Oh my God, how parallelism is that to our lives? That a lot of time, just like that kid in middle school, here we are grown adults, that nobody have ever told us that you're hiding the best part of you. You sow fig leaves and you begin to cover up the most productive parts of you. You begin to cover up because somebody told you weren't worthy. Let me say it this way. You trigger a physical or behavior change because of what somebody said about you. Yeah, I love that shirt. I need one. Come on, Charles, man. My sister made these. We can get you one, Charles. That ain't a problem. Inbox me. Like Vaniqua just said, all because he wanted to blend in. That's all it was. And how many of us, Vaniqua, how many of us, Devon, how many of us try to hide the most productive parts of us also we can fit in with the masses? Like we see, I don't do politics on my Motivational Mondays. However, I will use this example. We see right now they're doing the January 6th trial where they are trying to convict the people that, stirred up the commotion to go down to the Capitol. And we see how in the world could so many adults decide to make the decision that going to storm the Capitol was a good idea, that we need to go down to the Capitol and storm it. How many people, you know what it was? It's a bunch of people that was influenced by other people that somehow helped them to think that the beliefs that they had or the thought that they had should be carried out, and it was real. And see, that's why we have to be careful about how we use our words. Like all it was a few words that stirred up the whole January 6th at the Capitol. It was a few misguided people with misled leaders and unguided words that stirred up that whole thing. And see, that's why we have to be so careful about how we use our words and how we view ourselves, because if we only feel that and only be seen as a follower, anybody that has a slick tongue can make us can create an emotion to make us want to act. Anybody with a slick tongue, because remember, all it is external stimuli. Anybody, I'm breaking bread right now, and I promise you, I'm going somewhere. Anything that triggers a physical behavior or a change is external stimuli. Anything that triggers a behavior or physical change is external stimuli. I need for us to understand that when your boss walks into your office, or you walk into your boss's office, or you're on the floor, wherever it is, and your boss seems like today that they're just coming at me, understand that it's not your boss just coming at you. It's external stimuli. And in these moments of external stimuli determines how we grow ourselves. See, I love the fact, I say this to my sons all the time, that and I know some people might want to argue with me when I make this declaration. I told my sons, I said, look, no matter what you want to do in this world or on this earth, like God hasn't given everybody everything, which means that you have an opportunity to be whatever you choose to be. Now, I know there's some that believe that because of my color or because of my gender or because of my religion or my cultural background, that is tougher. And I'm not denying that it's not tougher. But what I am denying is that it's impossible. Oh my God, I just broke bread. I'm not denying that it requires a little bit more effort. I'm not denying that piece. But what I am denying is that it's impossible, because we know that all things are possible to him that believeth. So I'm not saying, oh man, I got to be 2 times faster. And I'm saying it's not right that as a minority or as a cultural background or whatever, that We feel that way. It is what it is, but it's not impossible for you to accomplish the goal. I'm about to break bread somewhere today. I am about to break bread somewhere today. So what we go through in life is possible. Yes, it's possible. All things are possible to them that believe. Yes, it's possible. So let me break bread. So I told my sons, I said, the good thing is the great I am is always, it's always an even playing field for the great I am. He's not concerned about your emotions. He's not concerned about what you grew. Come on, Pat. He's not concerned about what family you grew into. He's not concerned about you being the least of your household. He's not concerned about you being the greatest of your household. He's not concerned about what they said about you in schools. He's only concerned about what you believe about you. And here's the reality, and the reality of this whole conversation. I said I'm going somewhere. Here's the whole crux of the matter. I'm coming, Virginia. Here's the whole crux of the matter is it doesn't matter what they believe about you. It only matters what you believe about you. That's the whole crux of the matter. And external stimuli reveals to the great I am, what do you believe about your I am? Oh my God, pause, Selah. Calmly think about that. Calmly think about that. External stimuli, I told y'all I was going somewhere. External stimuli only reveals what you believe about what the great I am can do through your awakened I am. Oh my God. So, motivational teacher, my bank account, I ain't got my mortgage this month. I can't pay my mortgage this month, motivational teacher. Right now, I need gas. Gas is $17 a gallon right now. Motivational teacher, I'm drowning. Can the motivational teacher break bread? In this reality, the only reason why you are drowning is not because of what's going on around you. The reason you're drowning is because of what's going on in you. It's all external stimuli to see what do you believe about the great I am that works through your I am. And let me break bread. It's not so much what you believe about you. Oh, motivational teacher, I just broke bread. It's not so much what you believe about you, because we know, and here's the reality of it. I know where these hands have been. I know what these hands have done. I know what I believe my thought capacity is, and I'm telling you, that's why you got to have an awakened I am that is filled with who the great I am is through you. Oh, I love the fact that, like my shirt says, I have no competition. Oh, that's a bread breaking moment. I have no competition upon this earth. The only competition I have is me versus me when it comes to external stimuli. That's the only competition I have. And that's why I believe the great I am. I'm going to break bread tonight. Y'all know I don't do a lot of scriptures, but I'm going to have one of my Antoinette Marie moments right now, because as I was doing my personal study this week, because I'm learning about external stimuli, that most of the things we worry about are not real. What keeps us up at night and our mind running when we're supposed to be asleep is not real. Let me break bread. And I was meditating as I was studying on external stimuli, and I ran across a passage of scripture that says that if anyone wants to come after me, and I know me being the great I am, but I love substituting that. If I get the great I am, I get me. If anybody wants to come through after the great I am to learn who you are, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Deny himself. Somebody will get in that chat box. Deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Those are the 3 steps to deal with external stimuli. The first thing when I encounter a situation, first of all, let me say this. You're never as good as your last win, and you're never as bad as your last loss. I tell that to my young men all the time that I coach. You're never as good as your last win, and you're never as bad as your last loss. I love this poem by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling says, if you can if you can have triumph and disaster and treat them two imposters just the same. What is a triumph and what is a disaster, motivational teacher? It's external stimuli. It's all external stimuli. Can you meet with triumph and meet with disaster and treat two imposters just the same? It doesn't matter. I'm not as good as my last win. I'm not as bad as my last loss. It's all external stimuli, and it's all about the great I am, awakening my I am to who of which I've been created before the foundation of the earth. Motivational teacher, I know you're supposed to be talking about going 120. You're supposed to be talking about discipline, work harder. You got all these motivations. I know. Man only has one problem. It's seeing himself like the great I am has seen him. Let me break bread. Thank you, Ryan, for dropping that in there in the chat box for me. So, if any man want to follow me, let's say this. If any man wants success, if any man is trying to discover who he is through me, the first thing you have to do is deny yourself. Oh my God. I've been waiting to get here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting. If anybody came on here and dropped off tonight, they about to miss out on something tonight. And I'm saying that in full confidence. Y'all better tell y'all mama and them, your grandmama and them, all your cousin and them, anybody that you know that you want to take this journey with you, you better tell them, put their name in that chat box and tell them to get in here. If you want success, if you want to find your destiny, if you want the great I am to awaken your I am, the first thing you have to do is deny yourself. I have to come to the conclusion that who I think I am is not who I am. Oh my God. Come on, Charles. Thank you, bro. You got to deny yourself. What I think I know about me, I cannot lean to my own understanding. What my mama and them said about me, and my mama's on here, and I love my mama. I love my mama to death. I love it, but I can't. What my mama and them said about me might not necessarily be who I am. I got to come to the conclusion that the person that I know today might not be the person that can inherit the promise. I might not be the version of me today that can walk in the promise. I might not be the version of me today that should have a 8-figure business. I might not be the version of me today that can necessarily obtain the masses today. The first thing I have to do is deny myself. I got to understand that sometimes my priorities are not in line with where I want to go. It's not in line for, if any man want to follow me, if any man want the destiny, if any man want riches, what to say, prosperous and be in good health, you got to deny yourself. You got to deny yourself. You got to come to the conclusion that who Anthony is today might not necessarily be who Anthony's supposed to be. These desires that I have may come from a place on the inside of me that have been rooted in selfishness, or it might have been rooted in fear and self-preservation. I got to come to the conclusion that even my desires that I have right now might not be what the great I am has for me. I got to deny myself. And the great thing about me coming to a conclusion when I see external stimuli, and I know when my boss came at me, I'm going to say it this way, sideways, I had to deny myself, because if I understand that a quick tongue is going to equal wrath from the other person on beside of me, I got to deny myself. If the kid that I fed for all my life and I fed and I clothed them and they treat me in a manner that's not consistent with what I want, doesn't mean that I meet them with that same energy. Oh, I'm breaking bread. It doesn't mean that I meet them with that same energy that they met me with. It means that this is an opportunity for external stimuli. And when I recognize external stimuli, the first thing I must do is first realize that my first thought is probably more of my flesh. So I got to deny myself of that natural or carnal instinct to react. I love that one of my mentors says, I never react, I always respond. I never react, I always respond. And that's a form of denying myself, understanding that a quick tongue, yeah, I love it, quick tongue of fingers, sent to the wrong way equals more wrath and the external stimuli, which was meant. The only reason that great I am sent that, or the only reason that external stimuli was allowed into your life is because you were ready to handle it. The great I am saw you ready to be able to manage the external stimuli. Look at Job as a great example of what went down with him. Look at Oprah, look at Tyler Perry, look at Bill Gates. All like external stimuli, they all had challenges, they all had external stimuli. But the first thing when I encounter external stimuli is I have to deny myself. I remember not long ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was, and true story, I made my wife and my wife, I love my wife because she balances me. And we've been praying, God, enlarge our territory, Lord, enlarge our territory. And I had an opportunity to present it to me about a couple months ago, about 2 months ago. And in my mind, okay, here we go. The opportunity being presented to me was only external stimuli. The opportunity, it was so big that I was like, man, that my first inclination was no. So I'm looking at Vaniqua. Come on, Vaniqua. My first inclination when I was presented with that opportunity was, right now, I don't have the bandwidth and I don't have the capacity to be able to manage that level of a commitment at this stage in my life with where we are. It was external stimuli. And the great I am was trying. I've been making confessions, y'all. I've been praying and sowing, believing, working hard, growth mindset, elevating my mind, finding a new version of myself. And the great I am presented me with an opportunity that he thought I was ready for, but my sleeping I am saw me not being ready for it. And my first inclination when the opportunity was presented was to say no. Oh my God, this is a bread breaking moment. I'm a man of faith. I claim it. I'm a man of faith. I believe God. I work so hard. My son, I'm telling you, my son says, he said, man, when I wake up, you already up and been to the gym. When I go to bed, you still up. Dad, when do you sleep? I've been doing the grind, but I saw an opportunity that was so big, and because of where I was, that my I am was, the great I am presented me with an opportunity, and my I am was like, not right now. That was my first inclination. I ain't tell the person that, but that was my first inclination. And then my wife and I start bouncing ideas off of each other and talking about how we can make this happen. And so in that initial response, I had to deny myself, because in my own natural ability, I knew that it's not for me to do. I know right now I'm not equipped. I don't have the bandwidth to do it in my own natural ability. And that's when the great I am says, I got you. But I was only looking through my natural eyes. I was only looking through my humanity, and I forgot about there's another part of me that overrides my humanity, and that's my deity. And so me and the great I am, and so we having this conversation, and I end up taking the opportunity and doing the opportunity. I'm still working on it right now. However, when it was presented, my first inclination was, it's too big. I've been doing these Motivational Mondays. I've been sowing and praying and fasting and working. And I've been, come on, Pat, and I believe that it's greater on the inside of me. But when I first heard it, anyone that wants success, that wants greatness, that wants, you first got to deny yourself. The hardest part of this whole passage is denying yourself. The only problem, but the only person, or the only thing, or a person, place, a thing, that's what a noun is. The only noun that stands between you and where you want to be is you. I just broke bread. If we can first learn how to deny yourself. Man, that's bread breaking. That's bread breaking. Somebody get in that chat box. If that's good, shout, put in that box. That was some good stuff. I'm moving forward, but I gotta let that simmer. That we have to learn how to deny ourselves. I got Vaniqua chiming into this conversation. Because of you, I started getting up on my off days at the same time I have to get up on my work days. Start working out. I started working out again. And man, that's a great time to get this stuff going through your brain when you're working out. Come on, Beverly, good stuff. That's what I'm talking about, Vaniqua. That's what I'm talking about. There's another version of you on the other side of the stimuli. There's another version of you on the other side of the stimuli. If any man wants success, if any man wants to find his destiny, if anybody wants to awaken your I am, you must first deny yourself. Always the toughest. Number 2, he said marinate. I love it. That was some real good stuff. Come on, Vaniqua. It says marinate. I hear you out there. Number 2. Number 1, you got to deny yourself. Yeah, come on. Thank you, Virginia. Number 1, you got to deny yourself. You got to understand, I don't know what I don't know. When I look at my life, I only see one boxcar at a time. When the great I am looks at your life, he sees a whole train. He sees 72 boxcars that represent the years, or 74 or however many years of your life. He's looking at 74. You're looking at 1, and you're making decisions about your future, looking at with tunnel vision, looking right down the road. And the motivational teacher and the great I am says, no, number 1, you got to deny yourself and understand that you can't see no further than this. You got tunnel vision. I see you 40 years down the road and what you got on the inside of you. I knew you before you was a speckling in your father's eye. I knew you there. I knew you before the foundation. Those I already call predestined. I know where you're going. So number 1, you got to deny yourself. Number 2, you got to take up your cross. Somebody get in that chat box. Number 2, you got to take up your cross. Some people say, man, like I read scripture and I don't know how to apply it to my life. You finna hear it firsthand tonight. Like I just don't understand how this book works for me. You about to learn tonight. You're going to learn today. Number 2, take up your cross. Oh, I love this one right here. I love this one right here. My boy Kobe Bean Bryant. Y'all know. Some people think, man, you should be quote Kobe and God and Bible and all of them in the same breath. But I'm gonna tell you this right here: success leaves clues. Untapped resources. You are equipped. Come on, Pat. I believe success leaves clues. Kobe Bryant, Stephen A. I told this story last week. Stephen A. asked Kobe, "Do you believe in God?" And then Kobe said, yes. Stephen A. said, now, Kobe, everybody says that. Tell us how you believe, how you know that there's a God. This is what Kobe said. And man, like I'm telling y'all, like he was in the spirit on the Lord's day. That's why I don't, man, listen, man. That's why I don't sit back and I don't judge people because their walk doesn't look like mine. I don't judge people because they don't do what I think they should do. I don't judge people because they don't believe exactly how I believe. I'm not sending everybody to hell, or I'm not damning everybody for not seeing and believing exactly the same way I do, because I'm telling you, success leaves clues. Well, there's only one way to you got to get to success through this one way. There's multiple ways to your destiny. There's multiple ways to success. You can learn from. I love the fact that the great I am learned from everybody on earth during his time here. That I love the fact that he had to go to a man. Although I'm God, I got to go to a man to be baptized. That tells us that there's somebody lesser or greater. There always, I love it, Pat, resources. There's always something to be learned from everybody on this earth. Man, I tell you what, I learn from my kids every day. I learn from my own children every day. And I'm telling you that we can't, because people we don't think they live exactly how I want them to live and that kind of stuff. I can't listen to that person. Well, you know what you're saying? You're saying you're small. You're saying I'm small-minded and I'll never reach my destiny because I only believe that it comes through this one way. And there are multiple ways to get you to your destiny. And I love the example that Kobe gave. Kobe says, how I know God is real? He said, man, when I was carrying, when I had the cross and I couldn't carry it, God took me and the cross and carried both of us. He said, that's how I know. He said, until you have a moment when you have something that's too big for you and God carries you and that thing, he said, then you know God. I love Kobe's example because after you deny yourself, you got to take up your cross. You got to get that thing that easily besets you, and you got to say, great I am. I need you to awaken my I am to this situation. Great I am. I need for you to help me. I need for you to teach me how to overcome. I understand that there are gaps. I call him the Lord of my gaps. I understand that there are gaps in my life that are hindering me from reaching my full potential. Now I got to take up my cross. My cross represents that generational curse. That cross represents that thing that I have to overcome daily. That cross represents that sight of I know that I'm overcoming on the inside of me. That cross represents that might mean I might have to sit on somebody's sofa as I'm overcoming my cross. I got to take up my cross. I know that I have a spirit. I know that there was a spirit of poverty over my life. I had to take up that cross. I had to march up Golgotha's hill. I had to take that cross myself and say, I destroy it. Not only will I carry it, I will carry that joker and I will burn it for the next generation. Prosperity belongs to us. Some of us have alcoholism. Some of us have drug addictions. Some of us have, where we can't maintain healthy relationships. You gotta take up that cross. You gotta take up that cross. You got to say, like, it's up to me to change my generational history. After I understand that I've been called for more, I got to understand what in my own mind is keeping me from more. And I got to pick that cross up. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. You got to pick that cross up. See, let me tell you something that I know. And I'm going into human nature. I'm going into psychology 101. Is that most people, I know we're talking about keeping it real. Most people don't like dealing with what they don't believe they can change. Most people will love to just sit there and allow issues and situations fester that they feel like they have no control over. For example, some of us, we know we don't have enough money at the end of the month, but we've been operating in that space for 10, 15 years for so long that it's okay for me not to have enough money at the end of the month. Because I've operated in that space for so long, I start to believe that's a part of who I am. Some of us that we've been in such toxic relationships for so long that we don't know how not to live without toxicity in a relationship. That even if there is no toxicity, we create it so it can feel like home to us. Some of us have to be willing to take up that cross. Some of us have lived in a space for so long where we've been so negative and we've only spoke about ourselves negatively that we can't see that the great I am, it lives on the inside of us. Greater is him that's on the inside of me than him that's in the world. Some of us have lived in that space where we've been so negative toward ourselves. We don't believe that God can work through us. Motivational teacher, we got to take up that cross. Some of us have such a warped perception of who we are that we can't stand on solid ground. So we don't have a firm foundation. So we are unstable in all our ways because I don't know what to believe about me because I don't know me. Some of us have been on this earth 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years, and we've never known who we were. And it's much easier for me to set the elephant in the corner and never deal with it than it is to say, I got to take up this cross. If I'm going to win this battle, if I'm going to follow after destiny, if I'm going to follow after greatness, I got to take this fight. Some of us are rather hide and sit on the sideline and with all this stuff on the inside of you, and you're hiding because you don't want to address those issues. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. I believe that came straight from the throne, that it's me versus me, that you're running from the best version of who you are. Every day you sit there and you decide not to take up that cross. You allow, what are you sacrificing every day? If you're not willing to go after your goals and dreams and tackle those deep down places on the inside of you, sometimes that might require a PhD counselor. Then every day, then if you're not willing to take these issues head on, then your goals and your dreams become your new sacrifice. Every day we're sending our goals to the dream, our goals to the altar when we choose not to deal with those situations. I'm gonna break bread tonight. I'm gonna break bread tonight. You want to talk about making the word plain? I love it because I talked about being pruned. I talked about it, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago. Thank you, Mom, for bringing that word back in. We talked about being pruned. These are moments when I understand that if I'm going to get to my destiny, then I must allow myself to begin to, it's uncomfortable. I've already told you it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable taking up that cross, because that means that I have to look this man in the mirror and be honest about where my gaps are. And after I realize and I acknowledge my gaps, now great I am, how are we going to work through these gaps? I told you, the only thing that stands between you and your own wealthy place and your own success and your own healing and that life you ever wanted is the fact that I don't want to deal with those pieces of me that I feel like I can't overcome. Oh, I just broke bread. What it does it mean to take up my cross? Oh my God! I'm coming back to that. Y'all, I'm coming back to that. That's hitting deep. Don't you know every time when the great I am was on earth and he walked by a tree, you hear several times where the great I am speak to trees, because he knew at some point that when he was on that tree, he was going to have to tell that tree, I'm ready to go now. And at the point he told that tree, it is finished, that tree had to let me go. And they could not, it was a relationship between him and the cross. It was a relationship between him and his cross. It's no surprise that he had to carry the cross up God, because he's a type of you. He's a representation of you. See, we want to just pray and my hands look new, my feet do too, and we do all this flipping and turning around in the pews and nothing in our life change. Why? Because we don't want to take the cross. We don't want to, we fear who we really are. Say it again, Pat. We don't want to take the cross. Got some people chiming in this conversation. Q said, having what everyone else have will rock you to sleep. Rock-a-bye baby. Terrence says, stop hiding and run away and start fighting back to achieve your dreams. God didn't create you to just sacrifice, but to lead you to the top for greatness. Man, I love when y'all chime into these conversations. Q said, those who save their lives will lose it, and those that lose their life shall find it. Boy, you just broke bread. You just broke bread. I love that right there. Matter of fact, I'm going to come right back to that. I'm going to come right back to that. Q, I love that. We can no longer be afraid of what my true potential, what lies on the inside of me. I love that Marianne Williamson said, it's not our darkness that we're most afraid of, but it's our light. It's our light that we're most afraid of. And I do believe that on the inside of every man, that there's a seed of greatness. And when I say man, I mean Homo sapien, male, female alike. I do believe that there's a seed of greatness. That until we understand that I have to deny myself, one, and take up my cross. And see, we skip steps 1 and 2 and just want to follow him daily. We skip steps 1 and 2 and we wonder why I'm not experiencing, explosive growth in my life. It's because we don't want to do the work. I'm gonna break bread right now. Greatness requires everything. Greatness requires everything. And if you don't begin to bring all of you to the party, If you don't begin to bring all of Aniqua, you don't begin to bring all of Terrence, all of Pat, all of Q, all of Margarita, all of Beverly to the party, ladies and gentlemen, you'll never. And I'm the motivational teacher, and I'm just telling you, if you don't learn how to bring all of you to the party, you'll never experience total life prosperity. You can't have, the seed is within itself. If you only Psalm 30, Psalm 60, Psalm 100 fold, the reason why the folds are different, it depends on how much a person brings with them. If you only give 30%, then you only gonna get 30% out. If you only give 75% of you to your goals and your dreams, you're gonna only reach 75% of your goals and your dreams. To me, it's simple math. That what I put in is what I said. We think that grace is going to do it all. No, sir. You covered by grace, and you got another opportunity to do it today by grace. But at some point, you got to start up that hill with that cross. You got to pick up that cross. We have our parts too. I love it. Your lips say you want it, but your actions say different. He said, if you want destiny, if you want life everlasting, if you want health and prosperity, you got to first deny yourself. Number two, you got to take up your cross. And number three, you got to follow me. Like, I know, come here, man, let's break bread. I know these words in this order, motivational teacher, it sounds like that he's asking me, you gotta move. It sounds like you gotta move. Hey, you can't follow unless you move it. It sounds like, motivational teacher, that in order for me to attain the promise, in order for me to attain my destiny, in order for me to be the better version of who I am, to be in good health and prosperity, it seems like, motivational teacher, it's going to cost me all of me. Not only do I have to deny myself, not only do I got to go root up some of the things that have been inside of me from the fountain since my childbearing age, but number three, I got to follow him. That means I got to lean not to my own understanding. That means that now I got to have the faith of a motivational teacher. Does that now believe that I got to live outside of my body? Oh, I love that. You got to live outside of who you think you are. In him, oh my God, tie it all together, motivational teacher. In him, I live, I move, and I have my being. I follow me following him. My life, I move, I live, I have my being. See, the problem with a lot of us is, can I break bread? That a lot of us have our being half of the time in what I think, what I feel, what I choose. We say what we want to say. We do what we want to see. There's no discipline in our life. Disciple one, there's no discipline in our lives, and we live part of our life. What's up, Coach T? We live part of our lives in the way that there is no discipline, that there is no followership, there is no discipleship, and we live the other part of our lives where we're raising holy hands and we're doing all these things that we think are right in our own sights, and we miss the whole spirit of the text. And we missed the whole purpose of our life. And I said last week, if we don't know the purpose of our lives, abuse is inevitable. And the challenge with why there's so many people that take everything they have, take their destiny back to the grave with them, is because there was no purpose. And where there is no purpose, abuse is inevitable. The most potential in the earth lies in the graveyard. People took dreams, books, businesses. They took foundations. They all these gifts went back to the grave from whence they came. Why, motivational teacher? Because we choose to let external stimuli drive our decision making. We allow how we feel to drive our decision making. Well, as a woman, I have my intuition. We allow our intuition to drive our feelings. We allow how I think to drive my decisions. We allow my thinking, my behaviors, my actions, they drive our habits. And we are what we habitually do. Habitually, we are what we habitually do. So excellence is not an act. It then is a habit. We are what we habitually do. You want to see where I sit today? Look at my pattern of my last 15, 10, 5 years of my life. And I'm here because I am what I habitually do. I am what I habitually think. I am habitually how I follow my emotions. And a lot of us wonder why I just can't get over the hump, because you are what you habitually do. And in order to change from where I am today to where I want to go tomorrow, come on, Beverly, I'm coming. You got to change what you habitually think. You got to change what you habitually feel. And you eventually got to change how you habitually behave. It's the only way to change your manifestation. I don't know if I could break any bread clearer than that. I don't know if I could break any bread clearer than that. And the only way to change what you habitually do is to follow him. And I love what you said. If you want to find your life, you got to lose it. If you want to find your life, you got to lose it. Eminem wrote a song. I know y'all, you got to lose yourself. Even Eminem understand, I got to lose myself. He talked about how he was in a trailer park. He grew up in a trailer park, eating mom spaghetti. And there was a part of him that believed that he was much more than the trailer park. Even Eminem understands that you got to lose yourself in the moment. You got to lose yourself. He understood that. How much more should we understand that in order for me to obtain what I want, or not what I want, to obtain my destiny, to uncover my purpose, to walk in my destiny, in order to save my life, in order to find my life, I gotta lose it. Said, what if Eminem grew up in a mansion? He would have never wrote that song. Said, harsh environments force you to get out the nest. I love it. And Q, you said it. Harsh environments are only external stimuli. They're only external stimuli. And the great I am says, if you're going to overcome external stimuli, you got to deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. Harsh environments forces you to get out the nest. You know what it was? It was external stimuli. And I'm not a rap person. I love motivational music. And to me, that song was motivational because he's sitting here trying to change his life. And my question is, I told you can learn from everybody. I mean, that's just another example. My question to us is, how do I save my life? How do I find my life? We must start inspecting our I am. I told you, I don't know, maybe I did the message 4 or 5 months ago. He's the God of my gaps. All of this ties right back together. It's okay for me to miss the mark. Everybody on this earth has missed the mark. It's okay for me to miss the mark. But after I missed the mark, the question is, why did I miss it? See, most of us don't want to get our hands dirty. I love it, Devon. Follow Jesus. Most of us don't want to get our hands dirty and understand, why did I miss the mark? What was on the inside of me that identified me with that bad decision, or that made me want to snap at that person when I know I ain't snapped it a long time? What about that stimuli that I was confronted with brought that part of me back? I thought that man was dead and buried. I thought I buried him years ago. What on the inside of me made me spark that for that person right there? And you'll find out that there are themes to our lives, that there was so much greatness on your life that the enemy and your environment started fighting you at an early age. And most of us place markers at our lives when we have external stimuli and there's trauma. Most of us let me say it this way. We have external stimuli and we internalize that external stimuli emotionally, and we put a thought and an emotion and a feeling to that external stimuli. And now that external stimuli has become trauma, and we visit that trauma every time when something looks similar to that same external stimuli. I just broke bread. And so every time something looks similar to that trauma, or every something looks similar to that stimuli, we create the same behaviors. So now we are what we habitually do. And our results will never be able to outperform in that situation. And I don't care if that area of your life is money. Let me tell you something. If you don't deal with the root of that external stimuli, or if you don't deal with the root of that behavior, or if you don't deal with the root of that emotion, you'll always be broke. You can go in the lottery, get $40 million in 5 years, you'll be back in the same situation because your problem was never money. Your problem was never money. Your problem was that there was something on the inside of you that drew you to being broke. It was never money. It was you. I can tell you, I remember the day when I came to the conclusion that I had a spirit of poverty. I remember the day I was sitting in front of a computer in one of my friend's house. At the time, my house had gone back. I had an apartment. I couldn't afford it. And I was living with a friend of mine. And I was sitting there just as I'm doing with this computer screen. That's why I believe so much so in what I'm doing. I was listening to somebody on the other side of this computer screen talk about self-preservation and fear. And as he began to talk about the behaviors of self-preservation and fear, I saw each one of those behaviors on the inside of me. I said, oh my God. He explained what the spirit of poverty was. And I said, man, that is running rampant in my life. I learned that through looking at a screen, just like I'm talking to you. And I began to put measures in place in order to change my behaviors, in order to change my thinking, in order to get me to a place of where I can have more than 2 nickels at the end of the month, to get me to a place, because I know that greater was on the inside of me. Until I started doing the work, I could never experience the greater. See, it was all external stimuli. Until you're able to do the work, you can't eat the good of the land. Boy, I'm breaking bread right now. I love that, Q. Use external stimuli as fuel. And Q, that's part of bringing all of you to the game. That's part of bringing all of you to the party. I know I was listening to what's his name? Kobe and Mike's personal trainer. I can't think of his name right now. And I was listening to Kobe and Mike's personal trainer one day, and I love to hear how the greats think. And he was talking about how like Michael used anger to fuel him. Like Mike would create situations like this dude stepped on my shoe just so he could use that external stimuli as fuel to say this dude disrespected me, so I can go out and give him 50. I remember Shaquille O'Neal telling the story that when he was playing with the Los Angeles Lakers, that they were playing the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers and the Lakers both play in the Staples Center at the time. Now it's the Crypto Center. At the Staples Center, and Shaq wanted more tickets for his family. And the Clippers said, no, since it's a home game for us, Shaq, we're not going to give you any more tickets than you were allotted. Shaq even said that he would buy the tickets, and they would not sell Shaq the tickets. So as Q suggested, Shaq used that as external stimuli as fuel in order to go out and put up 60 points and 20 rebounds on the Clippers that night. And he talked about that in one of his podcasts. And I'm saying, to me, some people say that's negative. I said, no, I said that's part of bringing all of you to the game. Bring all of you to the game. Bring all of you. All of the parts of you don't like, the part of you despise, the part of you ain't right. The great I am need you to be totally committed, 100% in the game in order to get you to your place. So everyone praised Mike, so Mike had to create stimuli. And boy, did he did it, to the tune of being the best player to ever play the game of basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, I know sometimes you need an extra push. No, we need that. And that's why it's okay for to use whatever fuel you have to bring it to the game, man. The great I am wants all of you. What most of us try to do is only try to bring, the 50% good to the, I'm a decent person, I'm this, and we only try to bring that. No, you've been lying and cheating since you were a little kid. He said, I ain't asking you to hide that, Jacob. I'm not asking you to hide that. I want you to bring all that trickster with you. And you're going to wrestle with me all night until I free your soul. And I'm going to take that very thing that you thought was negative, and I'm going to turn it to a positive, and I'm going to use that for the expansion of my kingdom. I'm telling y'all, we've been hiding the most fruitful parts of ourselves because we're afraid of what somebody's going to say or how somebody's going to think about us. We got to begin to change the reality of how we see ourselves. I'm okay knowing where I once was. And I'm okay talking about where I once was because I'm not still there. And I'm okay talking about where I am now because I know that there's a better version to come. And see, when most of us unlock ourselves from people prison and care so much what people think and say about us, is when we'll be able to walk in total life prosperity. Right now, I'm so concerned that I don't want to stand out like the little kid walking around scrunched up in the hallway. I don't want to stand out. Well, you've been created to stand out. Stop fighting you. You have been created to dominate and doggone reign. You have been created to dominate. Stop. Man, I'm next Motivational Monday, which will be Tuesday next week too. I might do stop fighting you. Stop fighting you. There's enough enemies. There's enough hatred. You got enough player haters around you that you don't have to hate on yourself. Boy, I just broke bread. I'd rather for you to have a little bit more big head than you do of fighting yourself. I'd rather you to think more highly than you should, than you to think more lowly of yourself you should. I'd rather be able to talk you down the cliff than to be able to talk you up on it. I just broke bread. I'd rather have to talk you down a notch than to try to get you to raise your game 15 levels when you don't see yourself there. You got enough haters already. Stop fighting you. You can't be one of your own haters. You got to be the main person in your corner. It's me versus me. You're your own competition. Episode 151, Awaken Your I Am, external stimuli number 2. Man, come on, Beverly. Thank you so much. Awesome teaching. It's a bread-breaking moment. And I love the fact that we get to experience this journey together. I know a lot of people like talking to the Eric Thomases. No hate. Love ET. A lot of people like listening to the Tony Robbins of the world. Love Tony Robbins. No hatred on me, from me. A lot of people like listening to the TD Jakes. I love TD Jakes. I listen to him myself. No hatred from me. And I love the people that can only see the people and find words of wisdom from people that have made it. But blessed are those who have not seen and can still believe. Oh, some people like to only listen to the people that's at the top of the mountain. I love it. I listen to them too. Just trust me, listen to what I'm saying. But blessed are those that believe and have not felt the scars in my hand. Blessed are them that believe before they see it. They see it. I mean, come on, Q. This is meat, man. I'm talking about, this is manna. This is manna. And I ain't listen, man. The great I am, awaken my I am. I'm just saying, blessed are you that can see it before you see it. Because I'm telling y'all what I know. And the people that are looking at me, like these people, trust me, I see you. I see it on you before it comes up on you. I see it in you before it comes on you. Whoa, that's a bread. I got to do that one day. I see it in you before it comes upon you. I'm telling you right now, and it's like you all trust, I trust that the people listening to me see it in me before it's completely all on me. And I tell you the same way, man. I see it in you right now. Oh my God, like I feel that with everything on the inside of me. I see it all in and around you right now. Anybody that got ears and eyes and can listen to this for 1 hour and not bounce around, committed. I mean, dedicated. I mean, sit down and mentally engaged. Like I know what's on you. Oh, normal folk can't sit here. Oh, this Navy SEALs right here, this Green Beret. Normal people cannot sit here for 1 hour and take this bread in. So I know what's on you, and blessed of those that can see it before you see it. And I'm telling you right now, man, if we take these words and we become one with these words, and we sit down and we meditate on these things day and night, oh my God, like, man, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what's been laid up for you on this side of the dirt. I ain't worried about the by and by. It's going to take care of itself. When I die, whatever's in heaven, I'll get when I die. But while I'm on earth, man, I am going to live life to my fullest. I am going to maximize my destiny. I'm going to experience everything the great I am has given me before the foundation of the earth. And I believe, truth be told, that's you as well. So, hey, man, thank y'all for chiming into this Motivation Monday. Thank Vaniqua, much appreciated to you as well. No, we're not dancing around the truth right here, homeboy. Q, we're not dancing around the truth. I believe, hey, to know the truth is what's going to make us free. And tonight, let's get it now. And tonight, man, yo, just know, I'm getting off this thing, but I almost can't let it go. Just know that when you see a situation in your life, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, you need to meet it, understand the whole. And life need to slow down in slow motion and realize this is only to reveal what I believe about the great I am that lives through me. It's just stimuli. It's just stimuli. It's not positive. It's not negative. It's my response that determines whether it's positive or it's negative. The stimuli is what it is. It's my response. Just know that you have that type of power over your own life. Man, thank y'all. Like, I could really keep going with this thing. Like, I feel this like fire shut up in my bones. I really could keep going with this thing. But for respect for your time, I'm gonna let it go tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming in, chiming into this conversation. Like I always say, you all upgrade this conversation. And I promise you, my promise is to you that there will always be fresh meat. Thank you for the food, chew and regret, and chew and eat on it, on this bread. Keep doing it. Q said fire. Thank y'all. I'm telling y'all, come on, man. Let's get here together. And next week, invite 4 or 5 of your top friends. Tonight, I think we got north of 16, 17 eyes. Man, like, I really believe that we can drive this to 50 eyes. And shame on me that I put a demand on the spirit to out there to draw people here. But I do believe that we can do this. So if whoever it is, tag them into this video. Like, I think that in these days and time, people need words like this. Like, everybody, you know, the housewives, everything negative going on in this world. I mean, we need hope. We need this kind of stuff. And we're going to keep bringing that hope. And we're going to keep bringing that drive, that passion. And so invite your friends and your cousins to come on next week. And I might pop on in between. Just depends on how my schedule turns out. But I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for believing in these words. Thank y'all for showing up every Monday or Tuesday. I appreciate it. And it means a lot to me. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war.